I'm about to share with you Ray Dalio's billionaire mentality and key principles that you can use to reach your goals and success. Ray Dalio is a highly successful businessman who built his company, Bridgewater Associates, into the largest hedge fund firm in the world. Dalio started investing when he was 12 years old, and by 1975, he was ready to start his own business. Today, Bridgewater Associates manages $160 billion in assets, and Dalio has a net worth of around $18.7 billion. In addition to his business success, Dalio is also active in philanthropy, particularly in the areas of microfinance and inner-city education. Through his foundation, Dalio Philanthropies, he works to help others pursue their own goals and achieve their own versions of the American dream. Something really important that Dalio says, which I completely agree with, is that if you want your life to be success, you'll not let yourself do certain things because you're just no good at them. And once you understand that, the paths that you need to take become much clearer. Before anything, it's important that you become self-aware, reflect on your strengths and weaknesses, and move forward accordingly. You might be wondering what this might mean in terms of setting out your dreams and goals. Dalio believes in having ambition, of course, but he also believes in being a hyper-realist. It's very important that you're rooted in reality when deciding which goals and ambitions to pursue. The more realistic that you are, the greater your chance of success. And a huge part of understanding your reality is being self-aware. Dalio loves meditation for this and says that meditation is the biggest gift that he can give anyone. When you really look into the psychology of how your brain works, there are different parts of your brain that want different things. There's the logical part of your brain called the conscience, which makes the rational decisions. And then there's the subliminal part of the brain, which is more emotion-driven. Although it's not as rational, it can have a massive influence on you and your actions. The conscious and the subliminal parts of your brain are not aligned, and the barriers between the two are the ego and blind spot barriers. If you can get past these barriers, you can accomplish anything and everything because you'll understand that you don't have to do everything and be incredible at everything. You'll be more open to learning from others and recognize what your strengths and weaknesses are. By overcoming these two barriers and aligning the conscious and subliminal parts of your brain, you'll be able to unlock the path of your future into your future. You can begin to understand the people around you better and nurture better relationships. You won't think that your opinions are the only right opinions, and all of this will help you improve as a human and get closer to your ultimate goals. An example of this that Dalio gives is making your passion work. It's much easier to do this when both your emotion and logic are working together so that you can get fulfillment out of what you do while having the discipline needed to do it. This alignment will help you approach your struggles better too. You'll be more resilient and persevering, and know that you need to stick it out through rough times to reach your goals. Dalio also says that struggling is a good thing. A lot of people think that the opposite is true because they're scared or uncomfortable with the idea of struggling, but struggling is what helps you grow. It's what helps you improve, and it's ultimately what shapes you into the human that you are. When you go through struggle, you'll also have so many lessons to take forward with you. In his book, Principles, Dalio puts forward this very interesting yet simple idea he calls the holy grail of investing. This holy grail essentially refers to diversification. Dalio highlights that diversification is important for managing risk in investing. Most people think that just choosing different assets within the same class is enough to protect their investments, but Dalio says that this isn't true. He says that assets within the same class are usually about 60% correlated with each other. So you need to choose assets that are unrelated to one another. Dalio recommends choosing a small number of good, uncorrelated investments that are balanced and leveraged well. This way you maximize returns while keeping risk at a reasonable level. Dalio also emphasizes the importance of reducing the return-to-risk ratio by a factor of 5. This means increasing returns while keeping risk the same, which is key to building a strong portfolio that performs well in both the short term and the long term. Dalio says that realizing the importance of this holy grail was an epiphany for him and changed the way he did everything. He says that the average person can be overwhelmed by all the information out there, and then they think they can enter a tricky zero-sum game of betting against the consensus and be right. We all hear the advice of the not following the herd mentality and going the opposite way of what everybody else is doing. But what the average person ends up doing is choosing a company that they believe could be an underdog, which it could be, but there's just such a low chance of this that people end up failing and losing money big time. And the truth is, everybody will face a crash. But you can either have a aha moment or you can walk off the field and give up completely. To fight back, it's important to surround yourself with the right people and with smart people who don't agree with what you say, because you can learn from each other's differing opinions and become more open-minded. It's only when you're open-minded and constantly absorbing knowledge from people around you that your bet against the consensus can have the best chance of succeeding. Dalio also talks about the interesting notion of thoughtful disagreement. This idea of thoughtful disagreement is that even when you don't agree with other people, you can take their thoughts and your thought and consciously understand why you disagree, rather than just instinctively saying that you disagree. It's about truly listening to and understanding different perspectives before forming your own opinion on the matter. Arguments and debates can be useful because they can help identify problems in a theory, prevent problems from happening in the first place, and lead to new ideas. Ray Dalio knows how to tell the difference between productive and harmful conflict. When a group works together towards a common goal, even if they disagree, it can be productive. This is important for achieving success. Dalio also points out that within a group, each person may have their own assigned role or domain. And this is especially useful to practice in business and relationships, where there's a clear understanding of who's responsible for what. And this can lead to more clarity, fewer disagreements, and an increased trust in one another. These principles shape Dalio into the successful businessman that he is, but there are also some principles specific to his marketing that contributed to his growth, which you can take lessons away from as well. Ray Dalio started investing when he was young and also worked as a consultant. As a consultant, it's important to always come up with new ideas, understand other people's needs, and explain and choose the best options. Dalio realized that his clients wanted ongoing advice, so he started a newsletter to share his insights with more people. Now his newsletter is very popular among investors and decision makers. Empathizing with people and having their needs in front of your mind while coming up with new and creative solutions is extremely important in building trust with others and being recognized as a credible authority in your industry. Something that Dalio and Bridgewater did to stand out is they shared information and knowledge with others. This is different from other investment companies that are very secretive. Transparency is important to Bridgewater because it helps the company to be more open and educational. Dalio is very intelligent and helps others using his knowledge. Investors can read short reports about market developments and long research papers on Bridgewater's website. The company also has monthly meetings where they talk about their performance and how they did compared to what they expected. Being transparent is the key lesson to take away here. Whether that's with other people in your business, with clients, or prospects, the more transparent you are, the more likely it is others will trust you. So that's a breakdown of the mindset that goes behind the scenes in the success of Ray Dalio and what he achieved. This billionaire mindset can help you evolve not only as a business person or investor, but also personally. When you develop as a person, you're self-aware, creative, independent, empathetic, and yet a hyper-realist with big yet attainable goals. And there's no doubt that you'll reach success. What was the key lesson that you learned in this video? Let us know in the comments section down below, and I'll see you next time.